of the last 4 years.
Anaheim, just their 10th year of existence in the finals for the first time, and no one, I mean, none of the experts expected Anaheim to be here. And the winner will take home the Stanley Cup.
In 6 games.
Well, the Devils are used to shaking hands in the playoffs, but after the last game in the last series for the Stanley Cup, they're not used to doing it in the first series.
For New Jersey, that defeat at the hands of the Hurricanes, coupled with a devastating Game 7 loss to Colorado in 2001, was a signal that changes were needed. Kevin Constantine would become the Devils' 3rd head coaching casualty in 3 years, and Bobby Holik, a 10-year mainstay, opted for free agency. For Lou Lamoriello, re-energizing the franchise was an enormous challenge.
I've always said that Lou Lamoriello, without a doubt, is the best GM in hockey. I don't even think there's anyone close to him. What he does with the money he spends and the trades he makes and the things he does, he's the best.
Lamoriello began by hiring veteran coach Pat Burns. Known as a stern taskmaster, Burns was exactly what New Jersey needed.
I thought that some of our younger players who we sort of turned over some key situations to, I didn't think they were ready for it, and they needed a certain type of coach. They needed someone that would demand that from them day in and day out. But on the other hand, we also needed someone who, in my mind, had playoff experience, someone who had coached in the playoffs, because our goal is always to win and go as far as we can. I thought Pat was the perfect fit.
Lamoriello wanted change on the ice as well. At the draft, he and Anaheim GM Brian Murray planted the seeds for a major move.
I just talked to Lou about Sikora. He wants to do that.
The line that we had of Patrick Elias, Peter Sikora, and Jason Arnott was exceptional. But I also thought that they became more of the focus than the team. And I thought that maybe when they didn't play with each other, they thought that they couldn't do without each other. And I don't think you can ever have success like that. So in my mind, I felt as though that the team is the most important thing, which is the philosophy of our organization, and we decided to make a change.
He said Sikora's a hell of a player. I said Jeff Friese is a hell of a player.
I've always liked Jeff. You know, we had him rated very high prior to his draft year, and Ole we knew about. He had played on the Russian Olympic team, so we felt as though we were getting 2 quality character people as well as talented, and it was something that we felt we had to do.
We'll get something done, I think. Lou's when he starts, it's pretty good.
Pretty big hockey news concerning the New Jersey Devils tonight, and the deal being consummated apparently just moments before we took the air. At the centerpiece tonight of a 7-player deal with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks is Peter Sikora. The Devils acquiring from Anaheim defenseman Oleg Tverdovsky, forward Jeff Friesen. In exchange, the Devils give up Sikora.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect going into the season. I mean, I always know this team's going to be competitive, but it was a little bit of a different look. We lost some key members, brought in some younger guys.
I guess there were some question marks, and you're wondering at training camp, but you know, we started off the year very well and never really looked back.
On opening night, one Devil who stepped to the forefront was John Madden.
A steal, and John Madden moving in. Alfredson trying to catch. Score! John Madden with his 2nd goal of the game, and the Devils lead 2-0.
Nobody can lose Bobby Holik, who arguably is the best defensive forward in the NHL, and they get better defensively. Madden steps into Holik's role. Not only is as good defensively as Holik, but better offensively than Bobby.
Madden looking for the hat trick, and he got it!
I think he surprised a lot of people by his offensive skills.
Madden out of the box, surges in on a breakaway. Look, shoots, score!
I think he just got some responsibilities. You know, they told him, you're the man now. You're the one that's going to check. And he really took a lot of pride in having that role in our hockey club.
That's one of the great things about Madden. Not just his speed, but his great hockey sense.
Because he's always in a good position. He gets in the right places for opportunities, and defensively he's done just such a great job, and that's why he's nominated for Sulky.
History may prove that the arrival of John Madden in Albany 4 years ago is one of the great things that happened to this franchise.
Madden and the Devils won 11 of 18 games to start the season, but their first big test would come against the defending champs. The teams battled into overtime.
And it's loose right near Brodeur. Down and drop, rebound, score! Draper!
Most teams would have been happy to leave Motown with a point, but Scott Stevens made sure his team was anything but happy.
I thought we should have won that game, and here we were playing the ex-Stanley Cup champions, and you know, we wanted to beat them. I wanted to beat that hockey club, and you know, we lost in overtime, and you know, some guys thought, you know, it was good enough, and you know, I don't like to lose.
Scotty snapped. I thought he might throw a skate at me or something, and of course he's got, you know, veins popping out his neck, and he's speaking from the heart. He made it clear that it wasn't acceptable. The biggest difference between, I think, a winning team and a losing team in my mind is just how much a guy like that wants to win and wants everything to be done right. And it was just a great speech because I think it hit everyone in the heart.
An inspired Friesen responded to the captain's edict 3 nights later.
Nieuwendyk on the backhand side. Here's Friesen! Scores! With 12 seconds to go, and the Devils have won it 5-4.
It was Friesen's brightest moment since the deal that brought him and Oleg Tverdovsky to New Jersey.
How's the state of New Jersey, the city here, the team, the Devils, how are they treating you?
Well, it's great. You know, obviously we have a great record, and you know, it's a big change for both of us, especially from last year. It's great playing with a lot of great veterans, and it's actually it's surprisingly very nice here, and close to the big New York City. So the change has been good for me anyway.
You know, Oleg, what's the main difference you found from your first month here?
Well, the hockey is a little different. I think it's more systems in the East. You know, teams play real discipline, good defense. Not that much open ice. In Western Conference, probably a lot of intensity in the game and a lot of skating. Here is like more like a chess, you know, because everybody's just so disciplined, and it's tough to find your room. But, you know, we're winning, so it's a big thing.
I mean, you are the furthest thing now from a losing team. Perennial playoff team in New Jersey, 2 cups in the past 7 years. What changes in your mindset as a hockey player when you come here and say, I'm on a team that plans on winning the cup?
Well, you know, playing in Anaheim, you want to win, but you realize in the back of your mind that that's probably not going to happen this year, and next year not again. You know, you come in here to an organization that's been, you know, dedicated to winning for a long time and having such a great team, and you know, you just you believe in it right away, and you know, it just changes your game. You want it, you know, you want it so bad, and you know, you play better, I think.
Jeff, Canadian kid, Stanley Cup is everything, obviously. You were in San Jose at a strong team. What do you think?
Well, it's great to be a part of this. I mean, obviously, in San Jose, we were getting better, and then you know, took a step back when I was traded. You know, in Anaheim, we had a rough year, so it's real exciting to be here and just be part of this and having a chance for the Stanley Cup. I mean, that's what you play for, right. and it's. You know, I finally get the opportunity to have a real shot at it.
Now, Ole, you're also learning, I'm assuming, from the captain, Scott Stevens. Even though you've been in the league for so many years, he still is one of the guys everyone looks up to as he's the ultimate leader.
Well, I think a lot of guys, I mean, we all look up. I mean, guy played a lot of years, he has a lot of experience, winning cups. And even to this day, you know, you look at him in the game, he has intensity of a 18-year-old boy, you know, he just goes out there and wants to compete and you know, it gets all the team going, you know. We even say in the band, hey, easy, Dad, you know. Because,
easy, Dad?
Yeah, so we call him, but, you know, he's always there, you know, he's got your back, and Ken Danico too, you know. This guy's been here for a while, and, you know, you can learn a lot from him.
and the Devils' youth movement continued to pay dividends.
On now comes Elias. Elias moving in. Fedwin in front. Giannis scores! The Devils win in overtime, 1-0.
Oh, boy, the Devils just crushed the Flyers psychologically.
Two players still trying to find their way were Patrick Elias and Scott Gomez. Then, in early January, Pat Burns shuffled the deck.
It was on the 7th of January when Montreal was in that Pat Burns first put Elias to a left wing from a center and Gomez as his centerman from the left wing.
There was nothing happening between those two for a good while, and until we said, hey, let's try it one more time, we put them back together, and finally they clicked.
It's especially sweet when someone like Elias scores off a pass and a play with Gomez, because Pat Burns wants chemistry to develop as a line, and that's happening with those two.
When you make changes like that and all of a sudden you go on in the next 20 games and lose only 4, then you realize you must have done something right, and Pat didn't win those Coach of the Years for nothing. That was a brilliant bit of assembly.
That win on January 7th saw Joe Nieuwendyk tally career goals .498 and .499, leaving him on the cusp of a major milestone.
Well, as the build-up towards it was more than anything that I remember. It's kind of ironic. You score 499, and so much attention is paid to the next one. But I remember the play. It was just a dump out by them.
Dealt away and right to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk moving back in, gliding in front. He scores! Joe Nieuwendyk with his 500th goal. A marvelous play from the left circle. A remarkable fake on Kevin Weeks and just slid it into the empty net. 500 for Joe.
Nieuwendyk and the Devils surged to the Atlantic Division crown thanks in large part to the best goaltender in the game.
There's no question that he is the backbone of our organization.
There's lots of people saying Brodeur is the best player in hockey, period, let alone the best goaltender.
Marty, without a doubt, is the perfect goaltender for this team. Marty doesn't get any respect because they say he wins because of the system, and that's wrong. We're talking about the best goalie in hockey.
You got to have a greater goaltending to be the champions, and it just gives you the comfort zone, even knowing that when you make a mistake, it's gonna make the big saves for you.
Taken away, and here's Gagne on the breakaway. Left, shoots. Oh, what a save by Brodeur!
To do things consistently year in and year out the way he's done, and if you watch him every day, it's just a pleasure.
The veteran goaltender in the shadow of Patrick Waugh to a degree, coming out as the best goaltender in the league. He's had that kind of season.
40th win. The first to ever have 4 40 victory seasons.
Oh, what a great finish to an outstanding season for the New Jersey Devils.
We were playing playoff-style hockey probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that prepared us for what was ahead. We earned the right for the second seed, and once the playoffs started, we were ready to move on.
The Devils opened the playoffs against Boston, who were led by a blossoming superstar in Joe Thornton. And while he would have to wrestle with a smothering Devils defense, Jamie Langenbrunner had no such difficulties.
Ahead now, it is Friesen. Friesen trying to pull by Boynton. Around in front, and a save, rebound, score! Langenbrunner, and it's 1-0.
Nieuwendyk being tied up by Hal Gill. And now the puck through the middle of the ice, Langenbrunner scores!
I feel like I came here in the trade to perform in the playoffs, and I didn't do it the first year, so it was just kind of that feeling of I finally did my job, what I came over here for.
Up with this now, Jamie Langenbrunner walks it ahead, gave it on down to Niedermayer. Niedermayer walks in, Langenbrunner drives, score!
Oh my, Jamie Langenbrunner hot or what? 3 goals already in this series.
He was scoring timely goals for us, big goals for our hockey club, game winners, and it's so imperative you're playing at your best and you're getting big goals, because the first round's usually the most difficult. You can get knocked out awfully early or get upset, and Jamie was one of those guys that carried us offensively.
2 games to none, New Jersey.
As the series shifted, much of the talk was about Langenbrunner. But line mate John Madden had shut down Thornton, and in Game 3, his face-off prowess paid dividends.
Scott Stevens takes his shot, scores! And look out, here's a foot race, Pandolfo and Dan McGillis. Madden there as well, empty net. Madden in front, score!
Oh my goodness, so the problem's going to be what Murray did to Madden after the play.
He really developed into a leader this year too. Over the years, I've just seen that really emerge in him, and you can never have too many guys that help lead and have guys that you can look up to. And he was one of the guys that you could look up to, and was a big part of this.
The Devils looked for a sweep in Game 4, but they would have to do it without Ken Daneyko. The Devils' heart and soul was a healthy playoff scratch for the first time in his 18-year career.
Had a tough game against Boston in Game 3. We knew that we had some guys that were fresh, some guys that maybe could have helped a little bit more, and we made that decision.
This is the 166th playoff game the New Jersey Devils have played in their history. It'll be their first ever without Ken Daneyko. For the first time in his career, he is a healthy scratch.
It was disappointing, but I had to take a step back and understand that this is about the big picture.
With Daneyko out of the lineup, New Jersey lost Game 4, but it would only delay the inevitable. Back in New Jersey, the series ended as it began.
Boy, has Madden never been in trouble in this series, and he beats it across the Langenbrunner. Score! Langenbrunner from Madden, and it's 2-0. Coming by Rafalski, cleared it along. Langenbrunner finessed it out to center. The net is empty. Langenbrunner shoots. Score!
I thought we were playing our best hockey at that time, and it showed. We just, we just rolled. We just started rolling. In the playoffs, that's all it takes.
The Eastern Conference semifinals brought a young, confident Tampa Bay Lightning club to town. But like Boston, they had no answer for Jamie Langenbrunner.
On comes Langenbrunner to shot. Score! Jamie Langenbrunner! And it's 1-0. Madden turning, got it. Langenbrunner, open shot, save, rebound. Langenbrunner scores! How about Jamie Langenbrunner? He is just too much in this playoff year.
Every time it seems the pressure gets more intense, he comes out with a stronger game and gets those key goals.
That was huge. I mean, either going to Tampa 1-1, but to have the momentum, especially an overtime win, couldn't ask for anything more.
As the series shifted to Tampa Bay, the Devils were dealt a frightening blow.
The Lightning and the home whites, and the Devils will be visiting Red.
Oh, man.
And on the dump in, Stevens is down on the ice.
You saw the bench just go, oh my God, number one for Scott's health, but number two going, if he's out for any extended period of time, we could be in trouble.
He's such an important part of their entire locker room, and everybody cares for him, and there's a worry, there's a concern.
Well, it was tough. Things were going pretty well. We had a lead on Tampa, and it was a little scary. I was definitely a little concerned, and if I can't get off the ice on my own, I'm in a little bit of trouble.
As long as I've been here, he's always been in the lineup. He's always been there, and it definitely affected us that game.
It's Modine speeding it across the line, hits the brakes, that's a goal, scores! And it's 3-0 Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow!
Myself had stood up, and a couple of guys said, let's play as hard as our captain would want us to, and we battled back to a 3-3 tie. Unfortunately, the end result didn't work out. We didn't win.
And this one is over. Lightning win, and we've got ourselves a series. Tampa, a 4-3 winner on home ice.
Stevens' status and the Devils' future was uncertain.
No one was sure he was going to play. No one really saw him all day. And then we see him at the snack before we're going out.
Felt better a couple of days after, and I thought I'd give it a try. And fortunately, I was able to come back and be able to help the team.
Scott Stevens received around 15 stitches. He's got a protective device on that left ear, and he is back in the lineup. And that's no surprise, the warrior that he is.
Stevens is shot, he scores! Scott Stevens off the face-off, a power play goal, and it's 3-1.
All that happens is that he got 2 assists, scored a goal, was a +3, shut down the Cavaliers, shut down San Luis, and just turned that series around, and that's what leadership does.
Back home with a commanding lead, the Devils put away Tampa Bay in triple overtime.
Niedermeyer holds, shoots one, and it's knocked down. Scramble, score! Marshall! The Devils win it!
Devils are going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
As they had in so many postseasons, the Devils' engine was powered by role players. For Jamie Langenbrunner, the first 2 rounds put to rest any pain that lingered after his trade from Dallas.
I was disappointed, for lack of better words. I was just disappointed. I expected to stay in Dallas. I never saw it coming. I was told by management I wasn't getting traded, so it came as a big shock. And I think, it was tough coming here, moving the family and everything. But once I got settled, it's been great.
It's Langenbrunner moving on in. Score! Jamie Langenbrunner against his old team, the first goal of the game.
How nice is it for you to find some solidarity here, to sign a contract and say, okay, I am a Devil now?
It was great. I had been on 1-year contracts in Dallas for the last 3 years or something, so Lou made a point of wanting to sign me to a longer-term deal, and it worked out great, and it's took a little bit of a load off the mind. I think that helped me a lot.
Speaking of Lou, he's been quoted as saying something to the effect of, when you watch Jamie play, he seems as though he's been a Devil for a very long time.
I'll take that as a compliment. This is a great organization that, especially in the last 10 years, has been at the upper echelon of the league consistently. They've been to 3 Stanley Cups and won 2 of them in 10 years. That's pretty impressive, and just proud to be part of the organization.
Ottawa. How do you guys match up with them? How do you play a team like this? Number 1 and 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference. I mean, you guys are supposed to be here. How does this series flush out?
We got the advantage of, guys that have been in this situation a little more. They got the advantage of being the number 1 team and having home ice. They're the best team in the league, and we go in it as the underdog, and that's fine with us.
It wasn't simply Ottawa's regular season success that cast the Devils in the role of underdog. For the first time, the Senators had become a force in the playoffs, highlighted by an impressive 6-game win over the Flyers.
Going into that series, I know we were very, very worried. In a good way, we were scared to lose, because we knew if we didn't play our best, Ottawa could manhandle us as good as they were playing.
We knew we had a challenge, and we knew they had a lot of depth, and they had 4 solid lines. They were the top team in the league, but we were ready to play them.
But if the Devils were ready, so were the Senators.
Here's Giolta in front, and a save by Lalime. Turned over. Robinson shot, score! It's deflected in front. I think it's Chris Neal. 1-0 Senators. Back to the point. Shot, save, rebound, score! It's Todd White, and it's 2-0 Ottawa.
It's a great start for Ottawa hockey fans. This is as far as they've been in the Stanley Cup run. This is the first game of the conference final, and they're ahead 2-0.
Showing their resilience, the Devils scored twice, forcing overtime and a dramatic conclusion to Game 1 of the conference finals.
Who's going to be the hero tonight? Here's Van Allen. What a pick. Oh, and no, they score! Sean Van Allen in sudden death overtime. And the Corral Senators explode. The Senators win. They lead the series.
They were something else. They were a dominant team in Game 1, and the fact that I thought we were so good, and how could we be dominated for 40 minutes of the game.
Still looking for a split in Ottawa, the Devils came out flying in Game 2.
Here are the Devils now. It's a 2-on-1. Here's Friesen. Let it go, and he scores! And here's a short-handed chance. It's Elliott. Shot. Post! And it's all Devils to begin with. Race for the puck. Madden's going to get there. First shot. Score! John Madden wins continues the race and scores the goal. Hossa trying to step through, got the shot away. And another save by Brodeur. Martin Brodeur starting to stand on his head.
Back home, Brodeur sparked the Devils in games 3 and 4.
Darvinson's got a tie. Oh, saved by Brodeur. Elias thinks about it and scores.
Crowd roars louder and louder. They have a 3-1 lead in the series, folks. 5-2 win here today.
We were surprised to be up 3-1. And you had that feeling in the back of your mind that this club, very extremely talented hockey club, if they ever got it all together in one of certain games, that we were gonna struggle, and they did.
The Senators have to prove to themselves in this crowd in here, they're not going to get shoved into their playoff grave easily.
Picks it up, stick save made, and the fans will be roaring on their feet for Lalime. Oh man.
Risen to the occasion here tonight, no question about it.
Turned back into the corner, shorthanded, Donovan a score! Conway! Shorthanded goal! Spezza again out to win a face-off. Centered Spezza scores! It will be a game 6 in New Jersey. Final score, Senators 3, Devils
1. We certainly knew in game 6 it was going to be a big game for us. We were undefeated at home. It was our big chance to close out the President's Cup winners.
It was kind of the same scenario as the 2001 Stanley Cup Finals against Colorado, where we were up 3-2, had game 6 at home and didn't get the job done. So that was something we thought about, the guys that had been there in 2001, and said, let's make sure we win in 6 here and leave nothing to chance.
And we're going to go to overtime. Game tied at 1 apiece in this must-win game for the Senators. Back up, Hossa. Hossa centered, shot, Brodeur, shot, score! There will be a game 7.
We were up 3-1, and now we slowly let it slip away. And now we're in a battle for our life right now, and we go back there.
Adding injury to insult, on his final overtime shift, Joe Nieuwendyk came up lame and was questionable for Game 7.
It's maybe the strangest thing that I still can't explain. It was at the end of Game 6. Just went in the corner and I got knocked down in the corner and tried to get up off my knees and physically couldn't get up.
Game 7. Staring at elimination for the first time, the Devils faced a monumental task.
Everything was against them in Game 7. They're on their heels. They lost 2 games. They lost an overtime game in Game 6 in their building. Very tough to respond after an overtime loss. They got to go into Ottawa. The building was unbelievable.
On top of that, there was a slight problem with the Devils' transportation to the rink.
We get out of the hotel and there's a school bus out there, and we get on that, and then I guess supposedly the training staff got in like 2 wrecks on the way there, and I mean things were looking pretty bad. And anytime you're in a Game 7, you start looking into stuff like that.
It's just a funny day, you come in, it's like going to the game in a school bus. We're like, not even junior was driving the school bus to a game. Now we're going to conference final Game 7 in a school bus.
The Devils had yet to win a game in the series in which they had not scored the first goal. 3.5 minutes in, they would have to change that if they were to survive Game 7.
On the break-in, score! Alfredson, 1-0 Ottawa!
With Nieuwendyk unable to play and the Devils trailing, Coach Burns tried to inspire his team before the second period.
Pat came in and said, kind of, we got a guy that's played 17 years in the National Hockey League, a couple Stanley Cups, Conn Smythe, and he's in there pretty much bawling his eyes out because he can't be out there helping you guys out. And, if someone cares that much, obviously, we should also care. And not like we didn't, it was just kind of a thing to kind of, give us an extra kick, and sometimes in those games, you need that stuff.
Niedermeyer, beautiful pass, Breland, block, rebound, in Langenbrunner, scores! Jamie Langenbrunner, game tied at 1. Oh, man. This is Game 7. There's a shot. Scores! And it's 2-1 Devils! Oh my. Wagon Runners come alive!
Game 7, I just, sit on the bench. I was just telling myself that this is unbelievable. This is a great game. This is a Game 7, and it's not like you would just sit back and just wait what's going to happen. Everybody was trying to go for it, and it was just up and down.
Here we go, folks. The third period in game number 7 at the Corel Center in Ottawa. 2-1 Devils. And they hang on. Friesen steals it. He's quick, too. Comes in over the line, had it batted away, and Bob gives it to Olsen. Coming in the rush. Bob fires, scores! Wow, what a shot!
I just realized that I had made a mistake. I should have chipped the puck in, but I wasn't holding back. I didn't want to go on my heels because I felt that they would have probably tied it up with 3 or 4 minutes to go in the game and won in overtime. If we sat back against that team, I think it would have been trouble.
Marshall centered. Gomez, what a save! Put it in your memory bank and hang on. Lalime just denied the Devils the lead. Yikes, look at this. Backhand, open shot. Save made from Dorr. What a save on Marian Hossa. Thiesing, a backhander save. Rebound, Gomez. Another save made. And Gomez is talking to the walls, the stars, the net, the ice, the puck, the skates, and the sticks. And what he is saying is, help me find a way.
I think I had like 3 breakaways. I had chances and just wouldn't go in for me. And we do live in the New York area. I'm thinking, oh, the paper's just going to be all over me.
Now John Madden gets it out to center, picked up by Grant Marshall. Marshall and Ottawa down the left wing, centers in front, Friesen shoots and scores! Jeff Friesen scores! And the Devils take a 3-2 lead!
People ask me, did I mean to go through Redden's legs to Friesen? I said, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, God, yeah, I would like to say yeah, but no, that was the lucky part of it. But I did know he was there, and I just tried to feed him, and go into the net, and it worked out.
The New Jersey Devils are going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals against Anaheim. They win it 3-2.
That Ottawa team, he was the best team that I've ever played against in the playoffs, and I played against teams that have won the Stanley Cup, the Detroits and Colorados. But you really just saw the resilience of our team coming together, I think, in that series, and that was obviously a special series I'll never forget.
We got one more round here, boys. This isn't it. Let's go. One more round, boys. Come on now. This is only a step here. Let's go.
The Devils' emotional win put them back in the Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd time in 4 years. For their coach, the road had been much longer. In his first season, he guided the Montreal Canadiens to the finals in 1989. They lost, and Burns never got back again, until now.
After leaving Boston, I was living in the mountains in New Hampshire for a couple of years, hoping that I'd be able to get a chance to come back. And Lou flew in there, and we sat down and we talked, and I think his tone of his voice and the commitment that he wanted this team to win was something that really perked up my attention.
I thought we lost our discipline a little, and they needed a certain type of coach. They needed someone that would demand that from them day in and day out.
The feeling was more discipline, more accountability, and Pat Burns was the guy.
Somebody has to say, if you're doing something wrong, you have sometimes put the ego aside and you have to listen. I've made some mistakes in the past. People have put me on the right track, but I'm glad I listened. So I think that accountability was easy with this team because there was a lot of good, solid veterans.
Pat came in right from day one, no-nonsense type of guy, very disciplined on the ice.
With Pat's philosophy and the way Pat handles players, the older guys just rave about how Pat has made it fun to play in New Jersey.
He's a fun guy to be around when you win, but he's not that nice when you lose. He's kind of moody a little bit.
I think there's a couple times there when we lost 2 in a row or something, and it was like the end of the world.
I think that demeanor of his, that rough demeanor, is there because he knows that's the best way. He knows how to win, and he did a great job this year.
In the Stanley Cup Finals, the Devils would face their last obstacle, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. The Ducks boasted a goaltender who had become larger than life and a coach who, like Burns, preached discipline and accountability.
Then we come 3-on-0, we get it out
to the side, and then hit the wide side, and it should be bang, bang in the back of the net. Hey, execute! Do it right! Get your feet going, get your feet going! Move it! Mac, come here. We're not workaholics today, boys. So.
Not really, no.
Hey, come here, fellas. Come here, let's go. Wait, look, our brain isn't here, eh? Like, our brain is not here. All we got to do is bear down. All we're asking for is an hour a day. Our preparation. It's not that we didn't physically weren't involved, but mentally we weren't here today. And I know when it's a ways away, it's tough, but I mean, we got to make each other accountable here. Okay? So tomorrow when we come back, our brain's going to be sharp as well. Work our off and make sure we're ready to go. Okay? Once again, look after your family and your tickets. That's all done today, right? That's the deadline. Today's the deadline. See Marine, get everything looked after.
So glad you could be with us, and welcome to the Cup Finals game number 1. We began with 30 teams about 8 months ago. Now, here we are down to 2 teams.
Let's go Devils! Anaheim! Let's go Devils! Anaheim! Let's go Devils!
And here we go. It's a great storyline here. The favorite and the underdog, the known factor in the Devils and the unknown factor in the Ducks. New Jersey looking for their 3rd win inside 1 decade, their 3rd final in 4 years.
Devils are winning the cup! Ain't no team mighty enough to beat us!
I think the Devils' approach is putting a stamp on who they are. To win 3 Stanley Cups over a 9-year period would stamp them as one of the elite teams in the National Hockey League.
Anaheim, just their 10th year of existence in the finals for the first time, and no one, I mean, none of the experts expected Anaheim to be here.
The Ducks worried us. We know how good they were. Any team that beat the Detroit Red Wings, one of the best teams all year long in the last decade, 4 straight, to beat the Dallas Stars the way they did with all the great players they had in that hockey club. We knew this was no fluke, no coincidence, and we kept our minds focused that this is going to be a very, very interesting series.
Come on here, Marty. Come on here, Marty. Here we go.
Here were 2 teams that are virtually mirror images of one another in how they play. They like to counterattack. They like to clog up the neutral zone. They're both very patient teams.
So this series, I think, is very simply going to come down to goaltending. Someone is going to have to come up with big save after big save.
Giguère, in the early rounds, never panicked, fearless. 3 overtimes against Detroit, 5 overtimes against Dallas. The double overtime game 0-0 into overtime against Minnesota, fearless.
The funny thing about Marty Brodeur, he's been to the finals 4 times, and I don't think once people thought he was the best goalie in the series. Coming into this series, this guy's won 2 Stanley Cups. He's the only guy that's going to break Patrick Waugh's records if he wants to play. And everyone's talking about Giguère. They don't even know Marty Brodeur's in the net at the other end.
Energized after their victory over Ottawa, Brodeur and the Devils came to the finals ready to play. The Devils took to the early attack, taking advantage of a Ducks team that hadn't played in 11 days.
Let's go, come on. Let's go, Jamie. Come on.
Anaheim bent but didn't break, and the game remained scoreless through the first period. As period 2 began, the big question remained: which team would score the pivotal first goal?
Up the near side boards, Freeland's got it. Freeland with Friesen in the middle shot.
Friesen is on fire!
Here I was in the finals, and just helping pull my weight, in game 1. I mean, that was something that you kind of go wow, and it's a pretty awesome feeling.
Well, first goal is obviously key. If you look at the records of both teams, they're undefeated when you score the first goal.
The first goal is very, very important. Defensive teams, trapping teams are twice as good with a lead as they are from behind.
The Devils are doing to the Ducks what they have done to so many teams all year, just clamping down.
We knew in the 3rd period we needed to, you want to try and get that next goal. You want to try and really put somewhat of a lock on them. The game was never over, but you still want to try and put a little bit more of a squeeze on them.
Gomez leaves it, centered. Elias, what a move! Picks it up, save me. Elias centered. Marshall scores. Grant Marshall
2-0 lead for us, it's big, and we have the players and the team to keep a lead like that, and it was great. We kept it until the end of the game.
Well, the fans all on their feet now as the Devils finish it off 3-0.
We didn't give up too many chances. They only had like 16 shots, and we had 30 shots, so it was a good thing. Marty was there to make the big save.
I definitely think we were gripping our sticks too tight, and we totally changed our style of game, and we let New Jersey frustrate us, something that we'd been able to do to the 3 previous teams we played.
Hey, yeah, there we go. The real one.
Ron, thanks very much. Jeff Friesen of Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan gets the winning goal. It's soon going to become a sponsored segment on Hockey Night.
What do you take into the next game?
Well, we start from ground zero and come out the same way and skate and play our system like we did in the first game.
And the Devils did just that, dominating from the drop of the puck.
Davidovsky a shot in front, score! Patrick Elias!
I think my biggest concern was their goalie, but I think we found ways where we could try to beat him, and by beating him was just getting traffic and trying to get deflections.
Gomez to Elias, shot block, rebound, Davidovsky right point, he shoots and scores! That puck was deflected in front.
You talk about a team that knows where the juggler is. When they get a goal, it picks up. When they get a 2-0 lead, I mean, they are just smelling the end, and they come right at you. Played by Friesen, backhand chance, hit the puck, score! Jeff Friesen has done it again. 3-0 New Jersey. The final, the Devils 3, the Ducks nothing. Brodeur has done it again.
I think the thing that impressed me about the first 2 games on New Jersey side, they took over the arena like it belonged to them, like the championship belonged to them, etc., etc.
Anytime you win the first 2 games, especially the way we did, we felt pretty confident, and we go into Anaheim and you win that game 3, it's over, and I think both teams know that.
Overmatched by the Devils thus far, Jean-Sébastien Giguère defended his team prior to Game 3 in Anaheim.
Yesterday you were a bit upset with the suggestion, just the suggestion by some that you might be a fluke.
I'm talking for the team in general.
Yeah.
People thought that we were in a bubble, or we're just kind of lucky to be here. We're not lucky to be here. We deserve to be here. We deserve to be in this series. We deserve to play. We deserve to have fun. We deserve to have some success, and we'll do whatever it takes to try to win.
We're down 0-2, but that's okay. We're coming back. We're coming back with a vengeance. We lost 2 road games. That's no big deal. We're going to show them what's up.
We're excited to be home here in our house and get back on track. We've had 2 games under our belt since the break, and there's no reason for us not to really be good.
Marty Brodeur's got that streak running. He has shut out the Mighty Ducks in the first 2 games. This is a must-win game for the Ducks. They've got to find a way to get it done here. And we're ready to go. Puck is turned over. Here's McKenzie. Now Gomez. What a shot save made by Giguère. He hangs on. Ozolich's shot. The flurry of activity here by the Ducks, but the period will come to an end with the Devils able to clear.
Like 7 periods of the finals, and no one has scored a goal yet against Marty Brodeur's goaltender.
That's incredible.
Come on, see that first one, man. Go get it here. Put it on the net. Shoot it!
Ozolich, chance, score! Deflected shot, Swinnard! And this is a playoff novelty for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, a goal. When the New Jersey Devils get behind, you see a little bit of an offensive complexion take over. And they come right back on the attack. Langenbrunner has a man, comes to the net, score! Right off the bench, Patrick Elias out of nowhere.
It's a brand new game, tied at 1. Ozolich kicks it to himself, shoots it in, score!
You got to pinch me because I don't believe what just happened. Oh my gosh. That's the weirdest goal I've seen in the Stanley Cup Championship Series.
Well, one of the things that New Jersey does very well is when a goal is scored, they come right back to you.
Batted down in the slot. Taken by Marshall. Shot toward the net. Score!
Scott Gomez, and the Devils have tied it again. It's 2-2.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Carrillo went after it. He's in. Oh, the shot stopped by Brodeur. On the far side for T-Stop. Puts on the break. T-Stop with a kick. Taylor Johnson. Loose puck, and it's knocked away by the Devils.
And the horn sounds to win the third period. Overtime tonight in Game 3.
So the Mighty Ducks are 5-0 in overtime in these playoffs.
Oates and Rayom on the face-off. Soleil shoots, score! Ruslan Soleil wins a game for the Mighty Ducks!
Right now, we need to forget about this game and focus on the next game. And again, we can't watch them just play their game. You know, we got to play our game. It's all about our game. It's not about their game.
You know, these guys are there to live a dream also. You know, and they weren't just going to roll over because they were down 2-0. And they showed us what kind of team they were, what character they have.
Anaheim win means we go back to New Jersey tied at 2, and we have at least a 6-game final. A Devils win, and they can go home to clinch.
And here we go in Game 4. Pass comes to Thomas, the 19-year veteran, first Stanley Cup Finals. Thomas looking near side, kicks off open, sliding by Brodeur.
Balls it, hands it off for Thomas. Thomas back to T-Stop. Oh, he hit the crossbar.
Oates won the draw, and sent in. Oates in, shot at the post again. Madden in, Madden the shot, save, rebound, blocked by Jagger. Third period, we are scoreless in Game 4. Played behind the net by Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer looking in front, shot from Brodeur, big save on Leclerc. 5:35 left to go, third period. Anaheim has won 9 games where they've scored the goal either in overtime or with under 5 minutes remaining. Jason Crowe, center. Backhander, Brodeur kicked it away.
That is going to do it. We are going to have to settle this in overtime.
A vital overtime to decide who's going to skate the Stanley Cup this year. Intercepted by T-Stop. Back comes Thomas. Thomas with Paulson cutting. Here's Ozolinch. Ozolinch center shot. Oh my gosh! Rebound shot. Score! This series is tied. Thomas has waited 19 years to be in the finals. He scores the game winner.
Steve Thomas, one of the great clutch players in the National Hockey League, has tied the Stanley Cup Finals in 2 games apiece.
It's just all about getting the bounce and the break. I mean, we had our chances, and they had their chances. It was a good hockey game, and it came down to the end.
We know we need to win one game there, and the sooner the better, because we know they will be a lot better in Game 5.
For only the second time in the playoffs, the Devils found themselves without momentum.
Losing 2 overtime games, and you start to think, you know, how does this team keep pulling out wins? You know, they keep winning in overtime. We're back to 2-2 after a dominant start to the series in the first 2 games.
Knowing his team's confidence was shaken, Burns looked for a way to stem the tide. He didn't have to look far. After Game 4, Ducks CEO Michael Eisner predicted victory in Games 5 and 6. It was the break Burns was looking for.
You have to find an edge. You have to find something along the way that can spark. Mr. Eisner said that they were going to win it and they were going to have a parade in Game 6. You know, you have to find those things, and we used it.
We've now entered the 9th week of this chase for glory. Where do they find the energy?
Now it's simply a best of 3, a showdown for the Stanley Cup.
You would think in one of these games we would see 3, 4 goals scored by one of these teams. It certainly has not happened yet. We'll see whether or not Game 5 is that night. Truchin on Brodeur, and a pretty nice early save.
Another clean face-off win and score! Right off the face-off, and Sakura sneaks one underneath Brodeur.
That is the first period goal that we have had in this series. Neither team has lost when scoring first this playoff year.
Now it's between the circle, and Rayom gets a shot away. Jagger just in position. Turner Stevenson again. Turner. Center pass, score!
The Devils tie it up!
How about that? We are tied at 1.
Elias trying to draw through. Can't. Carney taking down. And a penalty coming on Pete Carney.
Now Ruslan Soleil hit hard by Grant Marshall. As the Devils become more effective, and let's score!
What a centering pass!
first time in this series that there has been a lead change in a game.
To compete on pucks, gentlemen. Roach to Korea.
Here's Korea. Sends it to the faceoff. Can't score. Roots in. Ties it. 2-2.
Who says these teams live by defense alone? We've got a period done, and what a period.
Tied at 2 after the first, this contest had a much higher tempo than the series' first 4 games.
And there's some black and blue bodies before this thing is over. And Brodeur intentionally kicked that one away so Leclerc could not get to it.
Gianta comes up with a hook hand to the front. It may have gone off a Mighty Duck player, but the Devils have taken a 3-2 lead.
What an incredible game compared to the first 4 in this series.
4 miles left here, boys. 4 to push.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Everything at the net.
Niedermayer's got an open Paulson shot. It's tied again. Sammy Paulson 3-3. Penalties over. Breland redirected. Save made by Jaguar.
We're due for a goal, aren't we? It's been about a minute and a half.
Come on, boys. Let's go. Here's Pandolfo. And in. The shot. Step. Pandolfo score.
They're going to wave it off. And they are right away saying non-goal. Now remember, in this case, it has to be a distinct kicking motion.
Well, they'll look at it upstairs.
I think that should be a goal.
It's a goal.
Well, the New Jersey Devils, when they lead after 2 periods in these playoffs, are 9 wins and no losses.
The most important period of hockey these two teams have played all year. Right now,
Down the mountain, they're really flying and skating well tonight.
We're on top of our D too quick. We got to help our D.
The Ducks were down, and soon the Devils would put them out.
both shots blocked. Niedermayer trying to redirect. Langenbrunner scores. Jamie Langenbrunner.
That's the first time anybody's had a 2-goal lead tonight.
What a wild game 5. That's what he was saying. Look at this. Onto it. Save. Twice. Marty Brodeur. The New Jersey Devils playing like winners. Jamie Langenbrunner looking for his second goal. Wanted to feed it in. Got knocked down. He's got it. Langenbrunner scores.
This maybe might be done for this night. That's 2 in a row for Langenbrunner. 3 in a row for New Jersey.
The Devils on home ice, a 6-3 win, lead the series 3-2.
We know we haven't done nothing yet. That's the fourth one's the toughest one. We know they're going to come and play their best game on Saturday night, so we got to be ready.
They were obviously the harder working team, and they outwilled us. And that's unfortunate, but it happened, and we don't intend on letting that happen next game.
Devils are bad. Yeah, Blue Devils. Yeah. Go Ducks. Yeah. Woo! Go Ducks. Jiggy. Yeah. Woo!
For the New Jersey Devils, so close you can taste it. And for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, please, Lord, not in our own building.
Clinging to momentum and hoping to clinch, Game 6 reawakened memories of missed opportunities past.
Drury still has it, and he scores! Chris Drury!
We are going to have a Game 7.
Yeah, we've been through that Game 7. You just don't want to get in that situation.
Alex Tanguay!
That long flight home from Colorado, I can't even explain it. You got to leave it all on the line. There's no holding back.
Tonight, the New Jersey Devils have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, unless the Mighty Ducks are mighty enough to force a Game 7.
Everybody is asking when will Paul Korea score more goals and give us more offense. Has that worn on you at all, and do you expect it might change?
The Devils will shut him down like they have the whole entire series. They want to hit him. They're looking to hit him. He's playing scared.
The cup is going home.
Stanley Cup Finals series revolve around prominent figures, and in this matchup we have Paul Korea, the goal scorer, against the great defender in Scott Stevens. It's mano a mano. May the best man win.
another weird one like we did the other night.
To the box!
Niedermeyer comes to root to the shot, score! Roots it again! And the Ducks with a 2-0 lead!
It was a hostile environment. It was pretty evident quick that it wasn't going to be an easy night.
Now right in front of kids, the goal post, now it's in! It's a goal! Steve Thomas was there!
We went out there and we just never really had a chance. They were up 3-0 after the first. We couldn't battle back. You know, Scotty hits Paul and he gets back up, and I mean, then you're really thinking, this is not our time. This is Anaheim's time.
He was cutting the middle and dumping the puck at the same time, and I came across from left to right, and I caught him there with his head down a bit.
Picked off by Correa, who got it back in. Sakura flattened at the line was Correa. He is hurt.
I was definitely concerned. I was definitely hoping he got back up. I don't want to see him get hurt, and to be honest with you, I was very happy when he came back.
Can you believe he's back?
No.
Korea has come back.
He's showing me something. I didn't think we'd see him until next season.
I can't believe that.
You got to give him credit. When he got up, that place was rocking. He scored that goal. I mean, what can you say? This can't be happening, is it?
Got it back here, side Correa. Correa, the fans want him. Off the floor, on the board, Paul Correa. Can you believe it?
We are going to have a Game 7.
We have to stick to our game plan and play 60 minutes of hockey. We can't just play one period in their building and think that we're going to win a hockey game.
For me, I'm just going to go out there and, just leave it all on the table. There's nothing I can do more than that. Just go out there, play hard, and we'll see what's going to happen at the end.
You could play this game on the North Pole. At this point, home ice advantage means jack. You don't have to say anything to any one of the guys in this locker room. They understand the importance of this game.
Definitely a position that we didn't want to be in, but we're facing this now, and we're trying to make the best out of it.
In the Game 7, you just got to tell yourself that this is it. Obviously, there's no tomorrow for us.
The biggest fear I had, I often said, was not losing that game, because you have no control once you send your players out. That's it. There's nothing we could have said more different, but the fear of disappointing people, your family, your friends, that was my biggest fear.
Game 7, Lord Stanley's Cup, 110 years old. It is here. It will be awarded tonight to one of these two teams. The Devils trying to win their third Stanley Cup. They've been to the finals 3 of the last 4 years. The only change tonight, perhaps looking for emotion. Ken Danico, the veteran of the New Jersey Devils, is playing in this game. Marshall drops it off in the middle. Ducks are back, though. Scott Niedermeyer left it. Gomez a chance. Gomez a backhander. Save made by Jaguar. Jason Krog the other way with the Ducks changing. Ozolinch is with him. Ozolinch at a point. Tried to center it. Brodeur knocked it away. Here comes Elias. Elias short-handed. Elias an angle. Elias shot. What a save with the left skate. A scoreless first period in Game 7.
Second period underway.
Held in near side by Rupp. Rupp, the young rookie who came to the playoffs late for the Devils, but has played physically big. Friesen, Rupp picks it up, trying to go back to the point. Did. White shot, blocked by Niedermeyer. Scott Niedermeyer scores! Mike Rupp deflected it! You never know where heroes will come from in a Game 7. And the Devils, when they have scored first, have not lost a game this playoff year. Ozolinsh leaves it. Thomas, forehand shot, deflected, saved by Brodeur, I believe. Shot, save made on Sauer's chance. Rupp dropped it off in the corner. Rupp's got that goal for the Devils. Langenbrunner left it, shot, Niedermayer save. Rupp was there, rebound, scores! Friesen got the goal. The New Jersey Devils are playing their game. Marty Brodeur is pitching a shutout with 14 saves, 2-0 New Jersey. Marty Brodeur is looking for his third shutout in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's how this series started. Here in New Jersey, he shut the Ducks out twice. LeClaire, Brodeur, shot, Carney. Brodeur stops it. Devils looking for that put-away goal.
I was excited all day, and the key for me was just to calm my nerves and transform all my energy from when the puck dropped.
Friesen shot, scores!
It was unbelievable. I'm in the finals. I've dreamt of this my whole life, and I felt great. I mean, I had more jump in my legs than I've ever had in my life.
Becomes just the 7th player ever to have a 2-goal Game 7 in the finals. The Devils are going to set a record for home wins in a playoff year. This is going to be their 12th. They will be 12-1 on home ice this playoff season.
And you notice Pat Burns has Ken Danico out on the ice for this last shift.
The Devil who has been here for all 3 of the Stanley Cup wins is on the ice to end this game.
With this crowd now starting to sense it with each tick of the clock.
10 seconds to play. 108 regular season points to capture another Atlantic Division title. Playoff series wins over Boston, Tampa, Ottawa, and now Anaheim. The New Jersey Devils are the 2003 Stanley Cup champions.
It's a special moment. I mean, you really, every breath you take, you want to enjoy it because, you know, you're really living a dream, and it's such a great opportunity.
The New Jersey Devils, for the 3rd time in 9 years, are the Stanley Cup champions. It did not come without a struggle, however. We have rarely seen Cinderella's play like the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. But in the end, the Devils do suffocate. Congratulations to the Devils, the champs of 2003.
It's an awesome feeling, and you know, it's very special. Obviously, being a captain, it's an honor, and to be able to grab that cup first and hold it up there is just a great feeling.
Scott Stevens, you and I have done this before. Come get the Stanley Cup.
It's a lot better the second time. It's been sweeter because we've done it for the fans here at home, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
When I came out and the fans gave me an incredible ovation, and that gave me goosebumps. I knew this could be it for me, and I was just showing my appreciation and thanking them for all their support they've given me and my family over the years.
When you win it at home and you see your name on that cup already, you realize how special this thing is, and not only for yourself, but for everyone, your family, your friends.